for every category we have, we are going to grab our category import off of it and grab our category name, throw that as a text block, and then we have another checked callback set up. Then we have our execute import, and we're tying that to our tools customization execute. Tools customization execute character import. Oh, it's execute effect import. There it is. Alright, so this is going to be import effects. Get available characters is not get available characters, it's get available categories, and we're taking in our category import here. So we're going to grab the import directory. We're then going to grab all the files in that directory, the folders in that directory. And for every one of those folders, we are going to make a new category import. And we're going to call load category info. And we should be calling this category. Basically, we're setting the name of the category to lowercase name there, and for every animation inside of it, we are going to add a new thing. Thank you for following, Lentilius. So, if anybody has any questions about stuff about Unreal, I'm not a super Unreal master dude, but I'll attempt to answer anything you ask. So feel free to ask whatever questions you got that are floating around, because a lot of this is just boring, so if I have something to talk about, it can be helpful. Or it can help you. Or help me if I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Alright, so we're going through every animation that we have in our character number, and we're adding it to our imports, which is up there, so that should be an effect. What is this? Okay, I was like, wait, something's weird here. It's basically, it's going inside, and if there's actually an animation inside of the category, then it will add the category. I was just getting confused. What music I like? Anything that's dull and repetitive and electronic. That's usually what I listen to. And the stuff I've got going on right now on Spotify is just on the Twitch approved list of not getting you copyright struck to hell. So this is not like my awesome jams or anything. And the other things I like to listen to are more like, I really like stuff like the Halo soundtrack and things like that, where you got those things with drums and lots of epicness. Usually I like. The effect has no valid animations. Alright, so we don't have enough character import, we have a category import. This will be load category info. So this is going to be the category folders. So for every folder inside of it, so basically we've got like a list of categories like explosions, and then inside of that we have like electrical explosion. We're going to have that effect in there. I'm okay with having it be called anim. So we're going to have load effect info, and we're going to pass in this anim. And import animations is, we're going to add that. So let's not call it anim. Let's just call it effects, because we might get screwed by something. So effect, 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 and effects. So the effect has no valid animation data. So yeah, so if our There we go. Man of No Ego, really good chill music. Well, I'll definitely save that link for later, Karakan. Like, so we're gonna load our category info into our import. So get folders, category folder, So we have our effect. The name is set to the name. We're gonna load our effect info. If our data path is greater than that, then we will add our effect. Alright, so we need our effect import. This is going to be load effect info. Is my name chess related? Or are you asking Karakan? Because mine is definitely not chess related. Mine's related to me being 10 years old and thinking it was a cool name. Alright, so if there's a file in there that ends with JSON, then our data path is that path. Otherwise, we did not find a data file for this thing. Otherwise, Dashkin animation file definition, load animation from the anim.def path. Alright, that's not bad. Alright, so checkbox state, master checked. We shouldn't have to mess with these because they're just checkbox things. Is category checked. Execute category import. For every import M characters, add the should be M categories. Where are you? There you are. Alright, so import characters will be import categories on the importer tool, and that's going to be the effect tool. Error in import, refer to output log, yeah. No effects selected for import. Okay, we'll take another look at what we got. Effect importer tool, master checked, effect tool. We set our effect tool here. When we build our menu, we add our rows, and we have set up our effect callbacks. We've called our effect import there. Category check changed is execute category import. That should be execute category import, not effect import, because we're importing the Caro defense. So we'll check, alright, in characters is wrong, we want categories. Alright, let's see. So I think we've got this one sorted out. So we should go over to our effect importer tool.h. Creator update textures, character import tool, effect importer tool, customizations. So we have our category effect, category effect, category effect, category path, effect path. Alright, so that editor tool should be good there. So now we go to the effect importer tool and should fill it out. So we want not our character importer tool, but our effect importer tool here. It should be effects, character name, animations, anime. So it's effects, should be category name, animations, yeah, so it'd be cat name, and then animation name. How about just effect name? So you got all of our singletons, all that sort of stuff. Cool. So this is the U effect tool. So let's start off by getting all our namespaces set up properly. This will be effect name. What we did is we have a static variable which has like the things we need to replace for our paths, and then it's pretty easy just to. So it's just like category and then effect. And it's real easy to keep that set up there. Depends if I can spell effect name properly. Cat name, animations, effect name. Get name from image name, slice, sprite sheet. Cool, so we'll start at the top now and go to the bottom and replace everything. So creating effect importer tool. Alright. So this is not import categories. It's good. Sorry, it's not import characters, it is import categories. Cool, so Dashkin sprite factory, flipbook factory, objects modified. So for every character, every category import category inside of categories, we're going to import the category. So for every effect in effects, so for every effect inside of the categories, we're going to have importing effect, and it'll be effect.name. So f-can animation def file. So we have an animation definition file, which is looks like one of these with all the frames and stuff inside of it, and metadata and images and all that. Load it up. Creator update textures. So we'll creator update our textures, and then we'll create our sprites, and we should be this should not be a character, it should be our category. And this should not be our anim, but it should be our effect. Fail to create for category and effect. So we're basically we're going to create our textures, create our sprites that reference that texture, then we're going to create our flipbook, which has all those sprites inside of it, and that's going to be our effect. And then we basically call the content browser and we sync our effects. Make sure that it knows that we actually just went and changed a whole bunch of stuff. So we should have our category import and our effect import. So we have our category and our effect here. So we load the asset registry, and we're going to get our path route for both of those things. We'll scan our asset registry, make sure we have everything loaded. And then we're basically looking for things that already exist, if they already exist. So, okay, we'll create the texture and delete all the assets that shouldn't exist would be the next one. Let's see, should we do that? We probably don't need to do that for this. This is going by create or update texture for every single effect that we've made. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Well, it'll delete all the textures that aren't supposed to be there. That's good, because this is not on the category level, but on the effect level. So if there's like an explosion, but it has different textures now, then we don't need them. All right, that's fine. Otherwise, we're deleting. All right. So that should make all of our textures. I'm doing the same thing here. We're booting up this thing. We're going to load the textures. And this is getting called from here to create or update a texture. So, updating the existing sprite sheet. Otherwise, we just make it, and there's nothing crazy. Do we even use any of these things? Doesn't look like it. Looks like we just create our new texture inside of our editor with the image wrapper stuff. And I don't think we even use our category or effect. Okay, well that's fine. So create all sprites. So again, category and effect. So we'll get our asset root, scan our paths, find our assets with sprites in them for this thing. We have our animation definition. We're going to call create sprite for category and effect, animation, Dashkin animation frame data, animdef.frames. This should be our effect. Asset name. I failed to create sprites. Sprites existing frames. So we'll delete all the frames that we didn't create or update. Alright, that should do that. So again, our category and our effect, and this is going to create the sprites, grab our asset tools, load the texture, get asset from animdefs, images, load that texture, That looks just fine. Looks like we don't really even need a lot of these effects. It's really just based off of this animation frame data. You don't want people knowing all the things. There you go. You think people would do that? Just look at Twitch chat and for personal information to look people up later? You think people would do that on the internet? Everybody on the internet's a nice person. Especially those people that come by and post racist videos and want you to play them. Alright, so we're creating a flipbook for this thing. So we have the asset tool, we have get asset root for category and effect. The info is no, it just looks stupid. Alright. Alright, so we got the paper flipbook, which we're making from the root path for the asset root on the thing. Frames per second is 60. Get asset from image name, blah, get asset path. Alright. Category and the effect. So I think that actually will do our import properly. So let's just compile it and see what issues we're running into with our code. We also, I think it was inside of the editor extensions module, we need to add the effect import tool, and it should be the tool customization. So it's the effect importer tool customization class that we just need to pass into this thing, and it'll figure its stuff out. I'll just reorganize my windows here a little bit. Alright, so I need effect import tool generated. Unreal generates a whole bunch of code for you, and you include that kind of at the end of your includes in your header file. And that's how a lot of Unreal works. It has like a header tool that scans all the headers, and that's where all these like macros of like generated U-class body, U-function, U-property, and all that stuff comes into play. Once it scans your headers, it generates the code files, and then you include those in your headers, and that way that generated code gets compiled in. It's got a lot of stuff in there where it'll complain to you if you're not importing stuff properly. It's almost as good at complaining as I am, though I don't know, I'm kind of like god tier complainer. Alright, so we have is character checked. I think we changed that to is category checked, is effect checked, and effect change. I think it's category check and category check change. Category check change and is category checked. Alright, I think we got those. Let's see what else we got that's messed up. Probably all the things. So we're going to go through all the imports and all the categories, and we're going to call the effect tool import categories with the imports error and input. Alright, well, we'll see. Add custom row is not a member of category. Let's see what this tool is. It character tool customization. This is line 81 in that. What was it supposed to be? So we've got this category up here already. And so you want category builder. Let's just change it to that. Yeah, that looks fine. Masterclass of complaints. Yeah, if there was a complaint college, I would have gone to it. What would be the final exam of a class on complaining? Like they'd have to give you something that's absolutely perfect, and you'd have to like bitch about it. But it'd have to be a surprise or something where you're genuinely like, oh man, this is so awesome, and then like have to find everything that's wrong with it. Where like you'd have to be so dedicated to complaining that you'd have to pass up on something really cool. Like, ah, oh, man, this free trip to space is so stupid. I could die in space. In the back of your mind, you're like, but just accept the gift, you dumbass. Character import tool. It should be effect import tool. And we need to actually include our import tool. Let's see, where is our import tool? This will be our effect importer tool customization. Concerning the college itself, I don't know. You can find a lot of things wrong with the college. Like if It'd have to be something you're unfamiliar with, right? Because you need to think on your feet and act like you're an expert on something you're completely not an expert on. Because that'd be part of it, is like effectively bitching about stuff that you don't understand. But bitching in such a way that your generalizations still kind of make sense, even though they're completely inaccurate half the time. Or complaining so emphatically that people start to question if you actually knew what the hell you're talking about. So we got base category path and base effect path. Not bad. So we need get path set. Base item path is now this. We have to get an incredibly high stat rate. You'd have to make a montage of like the greatest complainers of all time. Like great complainers and complaint history. Alright, we are getting close to having this thing actually be ready to go. Then we can import effects. And hopefully they will all be nicely in our effects folders. And then I can write a really long email to Adam about like, here you go, you can totally import effects, you just have to do, and then have like a list of 20 things. He's just gonna be like, ah, you son of a bitch. And be like, awesome, I can eat a delicious dinner, and it'll be like, yeah, you just have to follow these steps. Step 1, go to the store, and he's just like, oh, you motherfucker. This is just a recipe on how to cook a really good dinner. Be like, yeah, I know, you said you wanted to eat a really good dinner, so there you go, there's your steps. I don't see what your problem is. He'd be like, I see what you did here, sir. And I'm gonna get you back for this. Oh man. Alright, so if we go to our editor, we should have Dashkin tool, and we should have effect import tool. And the effect import should have Xblocks. And if we hit the effect import, we should import it. So let's just blindly hit the import button and see what the hell happens. This is a bad plan. Okay. I'm gonna stop that before it destroys the universe. I'd be careful to summon his revenge. Well, he's in Australia. What the hell can he do to me, right? Never piss off the engineer who has access to all your website shit. It's usually a bad plan. All right, so we're gonna disconnect from source control here real quick for this effect import, because the yeah, we don't want to do the character import. We want to do the effect import. You can tell I'm already too used to doing this stuff. So just the Xblocks. It's doing something. Yeah, we've got can't find file Xblocks animations sprite 46 making textures failed to find the objects. Well, it shouldn't find any objects because, well, it's fine. Finished with import. Alright. So we finished with our import, and those look like our effects. So if we look here, we've got effects, Xblocks, animations. We've got like ball spawn. Then we got our flipbook with our thing on it. And this is masked unlit sprite material. We should be using the translucent. Where are you, translucent sprite material? Well, what is it called? It's called one of these things. Masked unlit sprite material. Alright, so we need to look at the other explosions, I think. They've got it, like, inside of this ball spawn. It's called, yeah, it's called translucent unlit sprite material. But when I start trying to type translucent, it's all angry at me. So let's actually find this in the content. I can't find it? I'm confused. This should be showing up inside of Paper 2D content. Paper 2D / translucent unlit. So is the content no longer here or something? Like I'm assuming it's inside of Dashkin content, and like we don't have anything in here, so it's inside of the engine content, and then we got like Paper 2D content inside of this, but I don't see anything here, so maybe it's inside of plugins content. There's content here, and here's all this stuff. So why is this not in our content browser? Like we have Paper 2D there. Alright. And I would expect it to show up. Alright, let me just Google this real quick. Cannot find plugin content Unreal. I can't see the plugins. Go to your project folder and create a folder named plugins, then go to your UE folder and copy any plugin. Stupid. Can't see plugin content in 4.12.4. Download a latest. I cannot see content folders of plugin in the content browser, only their C++ content. No answer. No plugin content folders in 12.4 blah. Does a newly created plugin appear in the project? Paper3D is the only plugin that shows a content folder. I missed that one when I was checking. The other plugins only show C++ class folders. So it should be engine content or something, but nothing's showing up. Maybe I need to jiggle the handle on this thing and just be like, hey, enable this. and then we'll re-enable it. Oh, I don't see any of it. Well, let's just go to our effects and Unreal can be kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe kick it? Yeah. That's what we're doing. We're kicking it to try to make it, you know, realize what it's done to us. So let's go ahead and exit. And that we're not seeing the Paper 2D content is just annoying. I wonder if there's something like no plugin content. After adding a plugin with the content folder, plugins will we'll see in the editor with show plugin content selected. Plugin folder does not show in the latest branch. It looks like there's some sort of view plugin file was generated and the can contained content flag was reset to false. So let's see, can contain content is true. Alright. Where's the engine content folder? Like, engine content's not even showing up anymore. I don't see anything specifically that I'm missing. There's nothing. It's like asset tools, source control. There's nothing warning. Like duplicate animation stuff, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, so why aren't we seeing the plugin content folder? It definitely should be here, and it has been here in the past. So no plugin content, Unreal, Paper 2D. Well, there's a couple things we can do here. One of them is we can just copy those materials straight out for some of this. Because, I mean, obviously the stuff is here. So I'm kind of the opinion we'll probably want our own materials regardless. So why don't we just make, we'll just make graphics, and then we'll put like sprite materials, and we'll paste this in here. Graphics, sprite materials. Yeah, we'll just do this, and that way when we go into our effects here for Xblocks, our ball spawn, we should be able to go to our translucent unlit sprite material, and as you can see, it looks a lot better. And what we're going to want to do here is we want this to start off with the proper material. So let's go do that. So this should be inside of not our texture, but our create. It's on the flipbook, I believe. So I think it's like paperflipbook.h. Let's see, is there a material? Yeah, so there's this default material. And it looks like we're not able to actually mutate the material for the object. Maybe we can. Let's see. It's inside of our protected stuff, so let's see where it's used inside of Paper Flipbook. Yeah, it's just masked unlit sprite material is what it's. Constructor helpers, max material reference object. So we want to be able to change this default material to something else. And this is, again, this should be like graphics, sprite materials. It should be translucent unlit sprite material. I don't want to change this constructor thing though, so So I'm looking more closely into this, and I think I can probably just get away with something like this and do a mutate on it. I'm doing like mutator. This is mask material. This is. I'm just gonna do material ref. And then we need to change this flipbook mutator to actually doing stuff. So default material equals mFlipbook default material. And the default material should be the material instance pointer. Let's make sure to check this out. And obviously our assets are still getting loaded from the plugin. That's why the materials are available. And they're still cooked. It's just not showing up in the editor like content browser. And that's probably something else. There's probably some little setting in there that is not set properly. And I don't know. Let's go ahead and build this out. And we should be able to re-import all this stuff and do all the things with it. And it should recreate all of our flipbooks and set their proper translucent unlit sprite materials to what we want. Alright. We got to recompile a whole bunch of stuff because we compiled paper 2D headers and changed all the things. So let's see. These are all references to things. And that's why they're getting it. So it's like a does this even work? A reference to a pointer? Let's see if it'll get all pissed at me. Pointer to reference is not allowed. Alright, fine. We'll do a pointer. And we'll say it's the address of this flipbook default material. This mutator is so stupid. But I didn't write that code. I just changed it. But basically, it's something that's allowing you to publicly access variables on another class by basically making public references or whatever to those things that are in the other class. So it's basically just giving you all the addresses of the stuff you're trying to work on. And it's just kind of, somebody being clever with like, oh, I'll make a mutator class that can like touch all these things, and it doesn't really touch them. It just exposes these public pointers to these objects. And it's like, well, why the hell didn't you just make like a editor only block of code there on the actual UAsset itself that's like set material? Instead, you made all this mutator bullshit, which doesn't do anything. And it's like, oh, because I want to call invalidate cache data. And be like, you could call that in your freaking setters, dumbass. And this is just me bitching about stuff. I always bitch about stuff. So if you ever find the person who wrote Paper 2D, do not punch them in the face. Just say thank you and move on. Because my rants are half the time wrong, and the other half the time are offensive. So and also wrong. So let's see. Everything compiled, so we can re-import all our stuff, and hopefully we should have all of our stuff set here. We may also want to kind of mess around with this flipbook collision mode stuff, but yeah, don't hurt people I complain about. I don't mean it. I mean it, but they didn't really do anything to deserve it. The violence, not the bitching. Yes, the bitching, of course, is always fully deserved. So let's execute all the explosion effect stuff. Okay, so constructor helpers doesn't work here. I need to grab the material by path name. So I need to call load asset. So I need to load an asset as a new material reference. I need to pass in this text. So it's going to be a U material interface. Is that what this is over here? So U material interface pointer mat equals this. And then we can just mat object. Cool, why not? Why not? Let's make sure we can actually load our thing from our other thing. Let's load. Let's load all the DLLs.